Okay. So, yun po ang ating pambansang awit. At tayo na po ay mananalangin.
Let us all pray. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this time. We thank you so much for everything that you're doing in our lives. Lord, may be the one to strengthen us always despite this pandemic. Lord, strengthen us with your love and with your mercy. Give our speakers the wisdom and knowledge for them to share and for us to learn more about zero waste. We thank you so much for everything. We praise you, we glorify you. In Jesus' name, pray. Amen.
Alright, so yun po, we're done with our opening preliminaries. So, marami pa rin po pumapasok sa ating lobby. So, pag medyo lagging ako, nag-in lang po ako ng mga tao. Ngayon po, atin na pong simulan ang objective ng activity na to dahil at the moment po wala ang aming regional director kasi ang Fridays namin is directors meeting with the central office. Kaya actually kabilaan. Yun yung isang impact ata ng pandemic, no? Halos kung pwede everyday meeting. Joke lang. So yun po, medyo maraming schedule na overlapping. So ako po muna ang magbibigay ng objective ng activity na to. So January is actually the Zero Waste Month. Ang January po kasi ang anniversary ng pagpapasa ng RA 9003. So, supposedly, sa tagal ng 9003 na to, dapat natututo na tayo no, kung paano dapat ba kasi i-manage ang ating basura. However, yun, hanggang ngayon, aminin natin na talagang problema pa rin natin yung basura. Kaya yung Zero Waste Month was ginawa siya January to remind us always na yung pagsapit ng every January ay, hala, additional year ng RA 9003. So, tumatanda na yung batas, pero tayo kaya tumatanda na pag nalidiscuss na ang pag-manage natin ng basura. Siguro, oo. So, we are very thankful for the 80 plus participants for this activity na willing to listen and how we could live zero waste. Usually kasi yung zero waste ang tingin, pag sinasabi natin, in-encourage namin kayo maging zero waste sa ating mga lifestyle. Akala nila, pang mayaman yung zero waste na parang zero waste, dapat itatapon ko lahat ng plastic ko and then bibili ako ng mga bamboo utensils, ganon, or mga bamboo na gamit. Pero kaya akala nila it's an expensive way of living. Pero actually, hindi po siya. It's actually very simple na lahat tayo nagagawa natin. So, itong activity na to actually encompasses a lot of strong women. So, very, itong, it shows na may mga stories of zero waste lifestyle na in our small little ways, hindi man tayo sikat na artista, hindi man tayo politician, or wala man tayong power, but in our own little ways um, as a simple human being living here on earth, may magagawa tayo, may kaya natin ang zero waste lifestyle. So without further ado, hindi ko na patatagalin to give the idea and objectives, kundi pakukwentuhin na natin paano nga ba ang zero waste lifestyle. Hindi ko na patatagalin, ang ating unang speaker ay nandito na nung alas 8 pa, ang ating ever dynamic, and I'm pretty sure, Ma'am Beng, paki-on ang iyong camera para amin pong ikaw i-pin sa ating speaker, sa ating screen. So, ever dynamic tang si Ma'am Beng. When we met her, ang dami nating learnings na maririnig from her. So, Ma'am Beng, I am giving you the floor for this, para po simulan mo na ang iyong pagkukwento of your zero waste journey. So, let's clap po for Ma'am Beng. Hi, Ma'am Beng. Good morning po. Thank you po.
Thank you. Thank you, Claire. And good morning, everyone. And it's really a privilege na we're all here together in this very new learning environment. And this is really something na bagong pamamaraan or pamamalakad ng ating pag-aaral, right? So, today, I'm going to be talking about how I got into zero waste, kung ano yung mga ginawa namin as a family, and how it all started. Tapos para hindi naman laging yung mukha ko yung nakikita ninyo, di ba? Okay, so let me just share my screen so that we have something more to focus on, all right? So thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Let me just go to the PowerPoint, all right? Whoa. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So, can you guys see that? Is that okay? Okay, all right. Thank you. So, my road to zero waste. And kwento ko lang sa inyo how it all happened. Actually, the first thing that I'd like to share is the person who got me started in zero waste. Siyempre, di ba, there are people who model the behavior for us, and it's very important na talagang nakikita natin na it's doable. And the person who got me started would be these two ladies in the picture. So the one with the white hair is actually one of my grandmothers, yung kapatid ng aking lola. So she's Mrs. Ferrer. If you studied in SLU and you were my age siguro, naabutan niyo pa siya sa teacher in PE. And what she taught me most was gardening. So she's a gardener, she sells plants, she loves having growing things all around her house, and it's really an amazing thing to see her working. So siya yung unang nakita ko na nag-i-interact sa soil, na binubuhay niya yung mga tanim, tapos kahit na maliit yung plot ng lupa nila, and she's still able to plant. The other lady is my aunt. So she's the sister of my mom, and her name is Jessie Israel. And she's really the one na pagdating sa zero waste, pagdating sa pag-aalaga sa planet, mas intentional siya kaysa sa lola ko. Kasi yung grandmother ko, si Mrs. Ferrer, si Lola Ferrer, as we call her, she would just talk about plants and how beautiful Baguio was before. But not really so much about, oh, let's preserve Baguio. Walang ganong language yung lola ko at that time kasi hindi pa masyadong nasisira ang environment natin. But the other lady, my Auntie Jessie, was the one who actually really actively taught us how to do zero waste. But she didn't call it zero waste at that time. At that time, it was more recycling ang tawag niya doon. So those are the two ladies who really had a big impact on me. Na as I grew up, parang di ba, ang iniisip natin lahat parang, zero waste, is this possible? Is zero waste really, really possible? When you think about it, parang posible ba na hindi tayo magkakaroon ng zero waste? of course, there is always that waste that we're going to have, but we still strive to lessen it. Hindi yung katulad ng dati ng paggagamit natin na sobra-sobra na sandamakmak na trash. Okay? So, the zero waste lifestyle, aside from being taught to me by my grandmother and my auntie, was also modeled to me by a lot of individuals. But these ladies in particular, so the gentleman in the picture is my husband. The other ladies are si Ma'am Lucy, Ma'am Vicky Bautista, and Ma'am Becky Tenefrancia. So they're the ladies who are part of the group of Baguio Zero Waste. So I discovered them in 2016 at a time when I thought na, bakit parang napaka self-centered? I really thought that I was the only person, di ba, ang yabang? I was the only person who was actually doing zero waste. Parang nagiging, what was happening even was I was becoming a little bit desperate na parang, why is this not being shared by others? Why is my advocacy not being shared, or kung meron man ko konti? So I attended a seminar in the University of the Cordilleras that was spearheaded by these ladies. Meron pang ibang members, si Ma'am Lingling Claver, si Ma'am Olive Gregorio, who are not in this picture, but they're the ones that I saw who actually really had this amazing seminar where they invited Froilan Grate of GEA, Philippines, to really show us what it was all about, na paano ba natin um, i- gagawin yung zero waste. And there were other guests from the city government who also talked about a lot of the things na problema natin. Ang problema noon talaga, which until today, but it was a really big problem then, was basura. Who remembers seeing yung trash natin sa Baguio noon na it was just piling up on our streets? The garbage men weren't picking it up at all. Tapos nakakatakot yung amoy na aamoy na nating lahat, and nobody was picking it up, nobody was cleaning it up. So at that time, I met Zero Waste, and that's where I got the passion to really see na, okay, I am not alone. I'm not the only one who is actually doing this. So going back to the ladies, what are the things that they taught? Of course, I was already doing these initial steps. Kumbaga sa initial steps na to, tinuro na to ng grandmother ko, ng auntie ko, na whenever we were in the kitchen, dapat yung mga kitchen waste, yung mga nabubulok, dapat sinisegregate. Sa mga K-drama fans dyan, I don't know if this is still familiar to you. This particular scene is from a K-drama na I really got so excited kasi doon ko talaga, the first time na nakita na even in that K-dramas, minomodel ng mga Koreans na talagang nagsisegregate sila. No shame. It's outside their house. They organize it talagang as a neighborhood, as a group. They really separate everything. So this is from while you were sleeping, I think. So segregation, dapat at the source. Hindi natin dapat hintayin na yung mga barangay officials natin, yung mga kagawad natin, the poor, hardworking kagawads, should not be the one actually doing the segregation of our trash. Dapat bago natin siya inaakyat sa pick-up point, tayo na yung naghihiwalay. So, segregate. Yung nabubulok, wag mo nang iaakyat. There used to be an ordinance, di ba, na dito sa Baguio, or something na pinatupad ng mayor na pag nabubulok, hindi nakokolektahin. I don't know why that stopped. That was a very good initiative. Pero segregate. So, pwede nyo i-segregate sa nabubulok, sa di nabubulok. Ako, in my family, I do it to the point of insanity. I think I have 30 different bags. May bags ng tissue roll, may bags ng bote, may bags ng lata. Ad nauseum, sabi nga ng mga anak ko, kasi ang dami naming segregation process. So, we segregate at home, dapat at the source. Then, of course, composting. Pag nahiwalay natin yung nabubulok, anya nga iti aramidam, ibulong mo. I live near the river. May mga kapitbahay ako, tinatapon sa karayan. Di ba? Bongga. Pag madilim o pag bumabagyo, tinatapon. That's not what we're supposed to do. Kahit na sabihin natin na maliit yung place natin, if we only have a small condo unit or whatever, meron at meron tayong paraan para makapag-compost. So, my first point is, don't make it too complicated. Kasi ang dami yung mga iba, talagang meron pa silang turning ng basura, di ba? Talagang tina-turn nila, which are also good kasi nga bumibilis yung pagkain ng bacteria dun sa food. But if you really don't have time and you're a busy mom, I had 3 growing kids before when I started composting. Babies pa sila actually noon. Wala naman ako oras na magkiwar-kiwar ng compost, di ba? So here, don't make it too complicated. What I do is I just put my vegetable waste and then I cover it with a little soil. Tapos dito ko na-appreciate talaga ang earthworms. Dati noon, ang arte-arte ko, yung nandidiri pa ako. Kasi, di ba, they're so gross when you see them when they're crossing your path sa daan. Parang, yuck! Ano yan? So, what I understood when I began composting and I began to read more about it is earthworms are our friends. Merong specific na earthworm that's very effective for it, yung Eugene, they call it Eugene. Pero for me, I'm not sure if it's really Eugene, yung worm sa amin, pero sila yung kumakain dun sa compost namin and they make it really, really healthy and everything turns black, and when you plant something in it, grabe, ang rich ng soil. Of course, it helps if you put it in the shade. A little moisture helps, so kung pwede, wag nating hahayaang laging nauulanan o napupuno ng tubig yung compost natin. So cover it so that the earthworms will be able to do their job. And that's one of the things that we really do regularly. Sa amin sa bahay, automatic yan. Hinihiwalay namin kaagad ang aming compost, ang aming waste sa kitchen pa lang. Everything that can be eaten by the worms, tissue, boxes, basta leaves that fall from the trees, the flowers, the petals, we just put them all in our compost bin along with our kitchen waste. I'm not very particular kasi nga I don't really have the time na hiwa-hiwalay ko lahat dyan. But basically, as long as you compost your biodegradable waste sa kitchen, lalo na, ang basurang iaakit natin for our garbage men, hindi talaga siya mabaho. Ang basura namin, we usually keep it in the house until nakaipon kami ng certain amount para hindi naman masyadong akyat ng akyat. And it really doesn't smell if you separate the trash, the compostable waste from the other waste. Malinis siya. Okay? So that's my first one that I really do, composting. And the next one is if you are a person who is beginning, ito, nakita nila Claire ito, tsaka ng EMB. Because last year, they actually had their first Zero Waste Awareness Fair. So, before nagkaroon ng lockdown, di ba? And katabi namin sa Zero Waste Fair itong sina Sho at saka si Lira Maranan. So, Sho, Sayahon, and Lira Maranan. And what they have here is actually a vermicomposting kit. They'll give you a little drum with a cover, tapos may butas na siya. They've already put holes in it for you. And then they have even worms that they'll give you. They show you how to do it. And if you live in a condo na wala ka talagang backyard or anywhere else, you can put this under the sink and you can compost your kitchen waste. So you can find them on Facebook. I'm sure Claire has still their contact number if you want to get a composting kit from them. But if you don't really have the budget for it, lalo na ngayon, mahirap ang buhay, kahit anong lata sa bahay ninyo, pwede ninyong gawin to. Lagyan nyo lang ng butas, lagyan nyo lang ng takip, ilagay nyo sa madilim na lugar. That's where you put your kitchen waste. So composting becomes very, very simple. If you want to be more of an expert, you can do the bokashi method and all of that. Pero for busy moms, busy people like me, this is a really good idea, the one that Shaw and Lira have. So composting with vermi starter kits. Now, here, for me also, di ba, ang isang lagi nating nagagamit sa bahay, water. Kung hindi kayo yung pamilya na maraming budget na nagpapalaba kayo sa labas, di ba, marami kayong tubig na naiipon when you wash clothes. Actually, kung maligo lang tayo, we already can collect a certain amount of water. And since we live in Baguio, ay grabe, di ba? Nakita nyo naman sa lumipas na araw, pag umulan sa hapon, Baguio level super OA talaga ang ulan natin ngayong January. Feeling tuloy natin, ay ni, apay, a rainy season matanan, di ba? So what we can do is we can actually use this very important resource that we are so rich with here in Baguio. So, make sure na yung mga pipes natin, we don't have any leaks. Let's stop it. Let's prevent it. Actually, pwede pa kayo yatang mag-report sa Baguio Water District, and I think to a certain extent, they give you a reward for that. Lalo na pag yung super nabubuhos talaga yung tubig. Reuse wastewater. When I wash dishes, iniipon ko yung tubig na pinaghugasan ko ng pinggan, at either yun yung pang-flush namin ng toilet, or it is what I use to clean the area where my dogs, because I have 13 dogs, where they pee and they poop. So at least, hindi ako gumagamit ng malinis na tubig para panglinis ng dumi ng aming aso, right? And then the next one is collect rainwater. Ipunin natin, sayang siya. Sayang yung tubig na binibiyaya sa atin dito sa Baguio. Kasi talagang in other places, if you go to Ilocos or you go to other provinces, you'll see how dry their land is. Tayo, sobra. Kung minsan din na nga natin alam sa ko ilalagay itong tubig na to, 'di ba? So, reuse water. Let's not waste this valuable resource. Sa ibang mga bansa, magkakaroon na actually ng mga water wars where they fight over water because it's already so scarce. In India, farmers even commit suicide because they can no longer raise crops because their lands are so dry. So, habang binibiyayaan tayo, wag nating sayangin as much as we can. Let's find ways to collect and conserve our water. Of course, the journey, as I said, kung ako lang yung magjo-journey, my auntie taught me how to do zero waste, my lola taught me how to garden, pero at a certain point, I got really lonely when I thought that I seem to be the only one doing it. That's why it's important to meet other like-minded people. Bring other people along in your journey. Para hindi naman tayo nag-iisa, di ba? So, find mentors. Like for me, the mentors I found were the ladies in Zero Waste Baguio. Yan, si Ma'am Vicky, si Ma'am Becky, si Ma'am Lingling, si Ma'am Lucy, si Ma'am Olive, si Sir Emerson, si Sir Nathan. They all helped me to have more direction and to understand more things and to understand that some of my practices were not really that sound. So find mentors. Maghanap tayo. Marami ngayon sa Facebook. Ang daming Baguio groups ng Zero Waste. EMB alone, i-add nyo na sila, di ba? Ang dami ng contacts and people who will inspire you on this journey. Of course, invite your friends to try zero waste. So technically, si Greta Thunberg is not just zero waste. She's bigger, di ba? She's more angry. She's talking about climate change. Galit na galit tong batang to because of what we're doing to the planet. So I admire her. We in Zero Waste admire her so much because of her advocacy. And let's invite people to join those movements that will help us to preserve our planet. And then link up with other groups. Find groups or businesses that share your zero waste stance. Sa Baguio alone, we already have the Eco Store along Session Road, dun sa may building ng McDo. Kung you really want to do zero waste, they sell sugar, flour, and they repack it for you. Meron din yung Baguio Benguet Zero Waste Club or group which are the younger. Kung kami sa Zero Waste medyo more advanced in age, yung Baguio Benguet, they're more millennials. So you can also look for those groups, right? And you'll find many, many connections, even outside of Baguio, worldwide tayo. And of course, ito, practical. Hindi natin, katulad ng sinabi ni Claire, you do not have to be rich to be able to do zero waste. That's ridiculous. Kahit na mahirap tayo, we can do zero waste in our own small way. Actually, it makes more sense nga for us kasi mahirap tayo. We should care more for the planet kasi pag nagkaroon ng climate change, kung bumabaha, di ba tayong tinatamaan? Hindi naman yung mayayaman tayo. Tayong unang mamamatay, tayong unang nagkakasakit. So we need to be able to really value our planet and do practical steps to be able to do it. Sa onset, it might cost a little bit more, but when you see the savings that you're going to get, it really makes sense. So, practical ways to live the zero waste lifestyle. Ito, ang favorite ko, say no to single-use plastic and products in sachet. Baguio people, I used to spend siguro for 10 cups of coffee, addict ako nun sa mga naka-sachet na kape. Magkano ang sachet na kape noon? 8 pesos, 9 pesos. I drink 3 cups of coffee per day. 30 pesos kaagad ang nagagastos ko pag bumibili ako ng sachet, tambak-tambak pa ako ng plastic. Ang laki ng budget namin nun sa pamilya namin for coffee. And then I finally realized, teka nga muna, taga Baguio ako. Andyan yung mga Cafe Yagam, Garcia's Coffee, hindi kami may-ari, estudyante ko, okay? Hindi sa amin yun. Merong, ang dami yung titinda ng kape sa atin dito sa Baguio. If you buy coffee, real coffee, where you have the grains and then you brew it, hindi ka lang magkakaroon ng sobrang bango, sobrang masarap, sobrang murang kape. Meron ka pang coffee beans na pwede mong i-compost for your soil. Pwede mo pa siyang pang spa. Oh, gusto nyo mag-facial with coffee grains and honey? Social, di ba? After you drink your coffee, you mix it with honey and then you use the coffee grains to exfoliate your skin, di ba? Super useful. So don't buy coffee in sachets. Kahit yung juice, it doesn't make sense. I know during the pandemic, mas actually grumabe ang plastic use kasi nga we're also freaked out by COVID. But there are still ways that we can actually deal with this. Wash your hands, wash your utensils, wash your containers. It's still a better way of actually dealing with the disease rather than saying yes to single-use plastic. No to single-use plastic, yung mga sandbags natin sa palengke, yung mag-grocery ka, ilalagay mo na nga sa bag, kailangan pa nilang ilagay sa ibang plastic. I don't get that. 'Di ba? Pag uuwi ka rin lang naman kaagad, there's no reason why you have to have everything in plastic because even if they get mixed up, they're packaged so well that the whatever products you bought, hindi naman makakahahawawa. Yung amoy for the soap, then you can have a separate bag for that. So no to single-use plastic. Bring an eco bag for your shopping or marketing trips. It's always a good idea to have an eco bag so you don't keep on getting or buying sandbags. Well, actually sa Baguio, kudos to the LGU, pinagbawal naman na nila, 'di ba, ang plastic bags, pero bumabalik. So, ayan na, 'di ba? But it's up to us as consumers. Say no, be proactive. Kakasya sa bulsa natin, kakasya sa mga handbags natin, sa mga backpack natin ang eco bag. Another one is bring a reusable mug or tumbler for your drinks and beverages. I know that in some big coffee shops, if you actually bring your own tumbler or your own mug, they'll give you a discount. Kahit sabihin natin 5 pesos lang naman, that 5 pesos adds up. And the best thing is you do not have a paper cup or another cup that you will have to throw away, right? Bring your own cutlery, fork and spoon, or knife, or metal or glass straw. So magdala tayo ng sarili nating kagamitan para hindi tayo dumadagdag. So sobrang dami ng fork and spoon na plastic na nakikita nating lumulutang-lutang dyan sa ating mga rivers. Sometimes I see it in the canals here in our neighborhood. It just takes a bit of mindfulness to bring this, but if you make it a habit, we can do this. Pag sinabi natin kasi kaagad na, hey, it's too complicated, wala na. We're so used to convenience na, masyado na tayong spoiled. So, hindi na natin nagagawa yung part natin para protektahan ng ating planeta for the next generation. Kawawa naman sila. So, these are simple things. There's more, di ba, we can do. Bring refillable containers when buying food products. Pinanganak ako ng 1970s, full disclosure. Ang lola ko noon, Tupperware lady. So ito where you see the pandesal there, dinadala namin yan sa pandesalan pag bumibili kami sa umaga para hindi na kami magkakaroon ng dagdag na basura. Maybe you're thinking, bakit? Ang pandesal nilalagay naman nila sa paper bag. Oh, paper bag tapos may plastic pa na sando. Kasi I don't know why. Baka daw mapunit pag namamawis yung pandesal. Di magdala ka na lang ng Tupperware. Kung wala ka ng Tupperware na katulad ng lola ko na sobrang durable, there are still reusable boxes that you can use. Box ng ice cream, 'di ba? Pwede mong gamitin 'yon ulit bago mo siya itapon. Actually, we Filipinos are funny about that, 'di ba? Yung surprise, akala mo may ice cream ka sa ref, pagbukas mo galunggong pala. Oh, that makes sense. So, use it to buy your bread. Let them put it in your container or your Tupperware rather than getting more paper bags or more plastic bags that you will only use once and throw away. Tapos ito, repurpose, redesign, or reuse materials. Ito nun, I belong to an organization where we had a gift giving at the end of the year. Ang binigay namin was seedlings ng pine tree, coffee trees, and rather than putting them in a fancy cup, inipon namin or pumunta kami sa isang fast food dito sa Baguio at humingi kami ng mga used cups nila. We just cleaned it kasi nga naman they only use it once then they throw it away for most customers. Itong mga to, we just rinsed it once. My daughters, for some, they even painted it and then they put nice gift tags. So, ayan, at least nagamit siya more than once bago siya naitapon. Right? So, reuse, repurpose, redesign what you can to be able to give them a second life or maybe even a third, fourth, fifth life before you throw it away. Tapos ito, na-experience ko to, di ba? Sabi ko, say no to single-use plastic. Alam nyo, sa sobrang kasanayan ng mga tao sa plastic, di ba? Automatic yan eh. Huhugot ka agad ng plastic basta bumili ka. Kahit may plastic na, lalagyan pa nila ulit ng plastic, which I don't really get. You have to be firm and polite when you tell them, wag niyo pong i-plastic. Kailangan, hindi yung, kasi minsan di ba nahihiya tayo, gusto ko sanang mag-zero waste pero nakakahiya naman kay Manang. Hindi nakakahiya yun kasi tinutulungan mo pa si Manang kung plastic din lang yung paglalagayan niya. Di ba, makakatipid siya. She can use it for the next customer who didn't bring an eco bag. But you just have to remind them na, ma'am, sinabi ko pong wag i-plastic. So be firm, be polite, be watchful. Minsan kasi, nasasalisihan tayo. Di ba nakikipagkwentuhan tayo pagtingin natin, ay na, in plastic damat tanan dyan, ginatak ko, nyamat tanan. Kunak nga no plastic, di ba? Tapos tayo pang galit. Ako nagagalit ako. Di ba? But I wasn't paying attention. So, say no. Say no to plastic. Alright. Say no to plastic cutlery and straws. Ngayong pandemic, taas ang kamay dyan, yung mga nagsi-order ng delivery ng food, di ba? Kasi nakakasawa na yung araw-araw tayong nagluluto ng pandemic, di ba? Grabe. So we ordered food for delivery and we had all these amazing riders who were sacrificing their lives delivering food to us. Now, there's actually a selection for some fast foods na talagang i-check mo yung box na no plastic cutlery. Kasi dadalhin nila yung pagkain sa bahay natin. Bakit pa tayo kukuha ng plastic fork and spoon? Sinasabi nyo wala kayong kutsara at fork sa bahay ninyo? That's funny, di ba? So tell them when you order, please do not include straws. Please do not include forks. Nagadu, tikas tami, jay balay mi. Diba? Hindi po namin kailangan yan. So, kung minsan kailangan kulitin. Sa drive-thru, kailangan nyo rin silang kulitin. Kasi automatic na behavior na sa kanila yan and they need help to be able to hear you saying, no plastic. No to your forks, no to your spoons. Kasi anong gagawin ninyo yan? Aminin nyo, sa bahay ninyo, sa lahat ng drawer nyo, or in a certain can, meron kayong isang can dyan na punong-puno ng plastic fork and spoon na you have never used. Right? Na itatapon nyo lang. Or you're just keeping it just in case magkaroon ng apocalypse tapos for some reason nag-disappear lahat ng fork and spoon nyo sa bahay. 'Di ba? So, say no. Say no to it. Check that box when you're doing Grab or you're doing Food Panda and say, please do not give me plastic spoons, plastic forks, plastic knives, and even plastic straws. So, I don't know if you saw that video, yung turtle na na-stuck yung straw dun sa ilong niya, tapos pati yung scientist umiiyak nung inaalis nila kasi dumudugo na talaga yung ilong ng turtle. I was crying when I saw that video too. So we're actually doing so many worse things now, especially with our masks. So let's be mindful about those things. Let's ask nicely. Please do not give me forks and spoons that are plastic. Okay lang, meron kami niyan sa bahay. Then, the next thing that we can do, of course, is to make the switch. Switch. Maraming switcheroo yan. When we are, di ba, sa lifestyle natin as people, like me, I was born in the 70s, sabi ko sa inyo, super sanay na ako sa naka-box na sabon. Alam mo yung nakakatawa talaga ngayon, yung naka-box na toothpaste. Bakit pa siya naka-box? Durable naman yung plastic casing ng toothpaste. Do you know how useless that box is and how much we as consumers pay for that box that it comes in? A lot of money. So, let's make a switch. Yung shampoo bottles nyo. How many shampoo bottles do you have in your house that are already empty pero you don't know what to do with it? Sobrang dami nyo nang naipon. Dami nyo nang tinapon. Some you try to reuse, but then of course, it's still useless, di ba? Kasi parang, wala talaga akong magawa. Right? Wala ba talaga tayong magawa? Well, let's see. That's not true. Kasi meron na tayong options. And more now, we have awesome options. So if you look here, grabe, di ba? When we started this journey with my children, that was 2016. Sobrang addict ako sa commercial lotion, commercial shampoo, commercial soap. And it was one of the hardest habits to break compared to my coffee habit, which I gave up easily kasi yung sachet, madali ko siyang nag-give up. Maganda yung alternative sa Baguio. Yung mga sando bags, madaling palitan kasi ang daming eco bags ngayon. Pero ito, problema ko, soap. Diba? How do I switch to soap when my skin is so sensitive that I break out with the homemade versions? So I've tried a lot. Our family has tried a lot. Yung meron talaga yung hindi talaga pumapasa sa akin. So hit or miss, but let's be patient. We eventually found someone on Facebook who actually makes facial soap, shampoo bars, bath soap that are from natural products. Meron siyang tomato soap, moringa soap, avocado soap. And when we tried those worked for me. So we have now made the switch. We are buying less commercial soap. Medyo mahal ng konti. But when I think about the fact na wala akong box na itatapon after or something that I have to get rid of. Kasi marami na akong box eh. Marami na kinakain yung earthworm ko na box. So they don't need the box of soap, right? Or bottles, the plastic bottles. I don't have that anymore. We haven't thrown away a plastic bottle in almost a year now. So, ayun, kukunti na lang sila. Switch. Make that switch. Switch to shampoo bars. Switch to vegan soaps. It may take a while, but if you're patient, you will find the right soap for you. Marami sa Facebook ngayon. Marami din na nag-advertise. Or maybe, if you're masipag, you can even make your own soap. Another switch that we made, ito yung sa kitchen kasi ang paborito kong trabaho sa bahay yung naghuhugas ng pinggan, 'di ba? Parang that for me, I enjoy washing dishes. Kaya lang, ang problema ko noon is the sponge. Maalala niyo yung yellow sponge or maybe you're even still using that. Ang problema kasi sa sponge na synthetic, the synthetic sponge, you can only use it for mga 2 weeks, a month, and then you have to throw it away. Kung iisipin nyo yon na for every household, magtatapon ka ng sponge every 2 weeks. Then dami-dami na nun na tinatapon natin sa basura, which eventually is going to make its way into the ocean. And this is not the sponge that degrades. It's there forever. Right? Plastic siya eh. So, we finally gave up our plastic sponges for the loofah sponge. Ito siya oh. Galing siya sa parang upo. Right? So I don't have the patience to grow it. So for now, we're still trying to grow it. Kaya lang, it's tricky. It's not that easy. Yung former, isang estudyante ko dati, kasi nagtuturo ako dati, yung estudyante ko sabi niya, ma'am, I actually tried to grow it. Yung first crop ko, nag-fail kasi nabulok lang siya, lumambot. Hindi niya alam i-dry. And then she finally got the process. Now, she has her own sponges. And I also have somebody who sells these locally or near Baguio na pwede mo din siyang i-order and they deliver it. So, sponge. Ang benefit nito, not only do you not have plastic trash after, but this does not have to be sanitized. Bakit? It's natural. Bacteria does not adhere to the loofah sponge the way it does to plastic sponges. So we made that switch, and we no longer buy plastic sponges in our home. We just buy loofah. Ang isang loofah for us, kasi matigas to eh, kailangan mo siya ibabad ng matagal sa tubig bago siya lumambot. It's actually very hard. So if you use this, you can use it to exfoliate your skin sa bathroom, but you can also use it in the kitchen. May actually ibang alternative pa, but basically this is for me lifesaver. I don't have plastic sponges anymore because of this. And as you can see, aside from loofah sponges, we also have the toothbrush na pinalitan na namin ng bamboo toothbrush. Lahat ng I saw a post sa Facebook that said that every toothbrush you have ever used, every toothbrush is still somewhere floating around either in the ocean or is buried somewhere in a landfill. It has not degraded at all. Eh di ba, ang recommendation ng mga dentist, dapat ang toothbrush binabago siya or pinapalitan siya every 6 months. So, if you have reached my age, can you imagine how many toothbrushes that is that I have used over the years? And they're all still out there kung puro plastic. So we made the switch to bamboo toothbrushes. Mga 2 years na yata kaming gumagamit nito. It works almost as more effectively pa nga than the plastic toothbrush, because after I use it, it does not pollute the environment. So make the switch, make that choice. It's really worth it. It may be a little more expensive, but when you are not throwing away anything that will make that garbage patch in the ocean bigger, then you are doing something good. Kung sabi na natin di ba, zero waste ka ng zero waste, mag-isa ka lang. Anong kwenta nun? Lahat naman ng tao sa paligid mo, puro plastic. Well, then that's where we try to do these things and then encourage others to do them too. Di yung isa, dadami ng dadami, and then there will be lesser trash in our oceans, in our rivers, and in our canals. So, another thing that you can do, aside from making that switch to different products which have sustainable packaging, share about your zero waste lifestyle. Write about it, speak about it. Ako, I am very blessed that I joined Zero Waste Baguio because I found ladies and gentlemen who are so passionate about zero waste na yung passion nila, you catch it. And then they talk about it all the time. They attend seminars. They give seminars teaching other people how to actually live a zero waste lifestyle. So ayan ulit si Ate Vicky, she's there. Si Ma'am Mona, I forget the name of sister. We had a Baguio Rising for Climate Action activity. I think this was last year or 2 years ago in Teachers Camp. And that's where we talked about, again, how do we save the planet? How do we keep it from deteriorating so fast so that we can preserve it for our children? So you can attend seminars like this where you get inspired by other people. Eventually, as you practice the zero waste lifestyle, encourage your neighbors, encourage your friends, and you talk to them about it. And eventually, who knows? Kayo na ang next speaker sa next na talk ng EMB, 'di ba? Kayo na yung iimbitahin din ni Claire. Kasi we need people who are passionate about these things. It cannot just be one voice, it cannot just be si Claire, it cannot just be si Ma'am Vicky. It has to be all of us talking about this because it really matters. And whether you are rich or poor, the zero waste lifestyle matters because all of us have children who will inherit this planet, and it is one of the biggest sins, the biggest crimes for us to just pass on a planet that is so polluted and so dead to them, tapos wala na tayo. Parang we just wash our hands and say, oh, tapos na ako. Hindi. There's a legacy that we pass on. So, share about it. Talk about it with your friends. Encourage them. And just to encourage you about this also, my daughter, Alexis, actually is one of the people who really caught the fire for zero waste with me especially when I became a member of Zero Waste. Siyempre, naririnig niya rin yung lola ko, naririnig niya rin yung auntie ko. And lately, she has been noticing na in Baguio, there are more and more restaurateurs, people who offer brownies or cookies and other products who are on Facebook or off Facebook, and they use sustainable packaging or they use sustainable practices, or like EcoMart Baguio, EcoMart PH, they offer services that help us be more zero waste. So she came up with this app. You can download it. You can check it out using the link that's provided here on this page. And if you want to become more zero waste, log into this or have this app and it will tell you saan ka pwedeng umorder ng pagkain na nakapackage siya sa pulp. Saan ka pwedeng umorder or saan ka bibili ng boxes para sa produkto mo para hindi ka gumagamit ng plastic. So, find eco options here in Baguio by downloading these green pages. Ayun, naka-invento yung anak ko, di ba? Ginamit, she used her knowledge about the internet to be able to make this app. And it shows you also, sino yung mga bicycle errand riders na pwede ninyong i-contact to do your delivery so that we also lessen our impact on the environment. I mean, yes, our riders, the ones who use motorcycles, we're very grateful to them. They've done a lot for us. But then we can still do better by supporting also bicycle errand riders, yung mga nagtitinda na eco products like loofahs or straws. They're all in this app. So Baguio Green Pages. Bakit siya Green Pages? So why did my daughter call it Green Page? Ito rin yung pulp community. They have really cool, packaging. Itong packaging ng pulp community na to, natutunaw talaga siya. It is not greenwashing. I have seen other so-called biodegradable products that do not degrade. Pero itong pulp community, if you want to get in touch with them, you want to see them on Facebook or get the green pages and you'll be able to find them more easily. So, yan, yung mga products na yan, makikita nyo sa app na to. Patronize zero waste entrepreneurs. So, if you go to the Baguio Green pages, if you download this app, you will be able to find these people who can help you live a more zero waste lifestyle and who sell products that are not greenwashing. So, greenwashing, pag sinabi natin greenwashing, kunada ngay nga agba-biodegradable, i-compost mo, 1 year nakalipasan, hindi pa rin siya nag-compost, 'di ba? Yung mga greenwashing na ganun, nakakainit ng ulo yan eh, 'di ba? Nakalagay sa plastic, biodegradable, certified by the DOST, kung kunada pa, liars. Okay? So, let's support people who actually are serious about zero waste, not those who are just after your money, but who are also after taking care of the planet. Huwag tayong naniniwala sa mga nakastamp lang na DOST approved or whatever. Let's check it. So pag nakabasa kayo nun, check nyo. And then check the Baguio Green pages so that you can actually find more of these people here in Baguio and make connections, right? Tapos ito, syempre from ourselves, being zero waste, sarili nating practices sa bahay, if it's just yourself, kung ikaw mag-isa lang, or you join a small group, tapos parang kami lang sa Baguio Zero Waste and everybody else is still doing the same thing, it's really going to make you depressed. And that's why we have to think bigger picture. Kailangang our focus moves from our own practices to the 10% in our planet, in our population who can actually make a difference. Kasi kahit na hindi tayo bumili ng sachet coffee forever and ever, kung yung mga companies produce pa rin sila produce ng sachets, other people still use those sachets, walang mangyayari. Diba? We will be a voice that will be lost in the midst of the crowd. Nobody will hear us. And that's why we have to go bigger. We have to write corporations. We have to make corporations accountable for their emissions, for their packaging. We have to demand, ibaga tayo kinyada. Han nga mabalin, nga kastoy nga plastic lang ang ti araramidon nyo. You have to research. They get so much money from us. They cannot just use that money to profit themselves. They must give back to society by having research and development where they can have more sustainable packaging that does not cause pollution. We have to call to account those companies that produce so many emissions. Kasi kung tayo lang naglalakad, tayo lang nagbabicycle, Yes, it's amazing. It's laudable. I salute you if you do that as well. Pero kung babayaan natin itong mga korporasyon na sila pa rin yung nagpo-pollute, sila pa rin ang nagdudumi sa environment natin, then our efforts will go to naught. That's why we have to join our voices, join movements to be able to fight these corporations or to be able to sit down at the table with them and tell them, hey, you have to be more responsible. Kung gusto ninyong makuha yung pera namin para sa mga produktong tinitinda nyo, you have to be more responsible. We need to call them to account. So I'm sure you've probably seen this. Hopefully, you've seen this list. 10 worst plastic polluters. These are the 10 companies that make the most plastic waste in our country and even all over the world. Nakita nyo yung number 1. Oh, I will admit, I will raise my hand, I will tell you, pati ako, addict din naman ako sa Coca-Cola, di ba? Sige nga, saan naman kayo nakapunta ng birthday party na walang Coke, di ba? Ang lungkot nung pansit. Okay? Malungkot pa rin yung lechon kung wala siyang kasamang soda or what. All of us have been addicted to this. As much as we try, meron pa rin yan silang sa system. So we need to demand that these companies actually be more responsible about their plastic and they try to lessen it. Ang Coca-Cola, number 1 siya. In all honesty, they are trying. They are, well, trying a little. Kasi naglalagay na rin sila ng tracker sa mga plastic nila so they know where their plastic is going. May research na ganon. They try to put trackers on their plastic so that they'll be able to reclaim it and they'll be able to make it into something else. Kaya lang, dami-dami kaya nilang bote kahit na anong gawin nila, kahit sila, hindi nila marirecycle lahat ng boteng produce nila, di ba? Who are they kidding? Right? They have to change their packaging. Unilever, check your shampoos. Unilever sells most of our shampoo. Mondelez, most of our snacks. Baon ng mga anak natin, right? Our snacks, our cupcakes, our little individually packed pastries. Mondelez ang may kasalanan yan. And of course, number 3, your coffee, your milk, your cereal. It's an amazing company that has produced many amazing products, but they also have produced a lot of plastic, Nestle. Let's call these corporations to account. Let's write to them. Let's not support their products, or better yet, let's not buy their products which are in little itty-bitty sachets. Kung pwede, ipunin natin yung pera natin to buy the bigger pack so that we can actually get more for our money and produce less plastic. So ito yung mga worst plastic polluters, di ba? So either iwasan natin sila or we buy less of their products like Nestle. Ang daming mas masarap na kape kaya dito sa Baguio. Pwede madaling palitan yan. Okay? Mondelez, ang daming mga home bakers ngayon. They're support local. Support local bakers, support local businesses because they need our help more than the companies need our money now. Ang kapitbahay mo na nagbe-bake, ang kapitbahay mo na nagluluto, kung naamoy mo rin lang na masarap yung pagkain, di sa kanya ka na lang bumili, tapos sabihin mo na sa kanya, uy, wag mo na i-plastic, eto na yung lalagyan ko, di ba? So, let's avoid them. And if you're interested to have more updates on this, if you want to also be part of the movement, for my daughter and myself and also Baguio Zero Waste, we have our page on Facebook. It's Zero Waste Baguio. Like us, follow us, and then also check out the other zero waste pages that are available on different social media platforms also. So we try our best to give updates, to give recommendations, and to give calls to actions. We promote products that are we think are good and are zero waste. We don't get any money out of it. We just promote them because they support our advocacy. So I hope that as we go along, you will also have that same passion to be able to support us, right? Na magtulungan tayo. Let's try to do what we can to be able to help our planet to have a better outlook for our children, better health for ourselves. Kasi with all of our problems with our environment, makikita naman natin, di ba, umuulan na parang rainy season ngayong January. Back in 1980, when I was a high school student in Baguio, pag January, malamig. Pero mainit yung araw pag lumabas ka, umaaraw siya. You could see how beautiful the sun was. It wasn't raining at all. The stars were clear. Well, you can still see stars in fairness, di ba? Because of COVID ngayon, di ba? We're not all out polluting the planet. But, you know, I live in Yulukban. I live beside a portion of the Balili River that connects to Trinidad. Nung 1980s, nung lumipat kami dito sa area na to, that river had frogs, it had eels, meron pa siyang konting mga isda noon. Ngayon, I don't know, for some reason, sinimento nila daw for flood control or whatever, tapos may mga nagtatapon ng basura sa river, it is now dead. There is no life in it. Maybe some of you will say, oh, pero dumadami ang birds natin sa Baguio. Have you not noticed? Nagaduda nga. Did you not also notice? Most of them are black crows. They are here in Baguio because they smell the trash. They are, ano yun, yung mga scavenger birds. Yung crows na malalaki, nakabut-butang nanay. Tapos they're black pa and they sit in the tree. They go, cow, cow, cow. They come to Baguio because of our trash. So, let's see, we can still revive the rivers. We can still do something to be able to help our planet. But we all have to do our part to be able to support our planet, support our local businesses, and put our money where it matters. Let's not put it in people who produce plastic. So, the bigger picture here, of course, kung susulat din lang tayo sa companies for us to be able to request them to do research and development, or we're going to tell companies to improve their packaging, another thing that we can do is to really rally our representatives, our government, to please stop favoring minors, to please stop favoring people who are just producing a lot of plastic and destroying so much of our environment, cutting our trees. Diba? We have to say goodbye na daw to the trees in happy homes. I'm not happy about that. Governor Pack Road used to be one of the most beautiful roads to come into when you were traveling up to Baguio. Di ba? Pag crest mo ng ganyan ng Cannon Road, tapos makikita mo na ang yung papuntang military cut-off, that road there, Baguio would be so beautiful because there were so many trees along that area. May watershed pa tayo doon. But now they're cutting so many trees that when you go to that part of the city, it is hot. It is very hot because the trees are gone and they're planning to cut more trees. I don't see the logic there. I mean, with COVID, not a lot of people are traveling anymore. So what is with all this road widening, right? Pero ang zero waste, pag sinabi, wala naman ang zero waste dun sa road widening, sa cutting of trees. No, those are all connected. Everything is connected. And for all the 96 individuals on this particular amazing session, we can still do something to help our planet. We can still do something to make a difference. It's not yet too late. So, kung medyo nahihirapan kayo, sabihin nyo, ang hirap ng zero waste, don't throw everything, don't give up. Don't throw your hands in the air and say, I can't do zero waste, so I just quit. Let's try to work it out. Let's try to do what we can. Kahit small things. You do not have to be one day, lahat ng plastic, sabi nga ni Claire, di ba? Itapon mo lahat ng plastic sa bahay mo. Ay nako, it's not gonna happen. I still struggle with plastic. It's still an issue for us. We're still trying to find a solution for it. But, small changes. Small changes lead to big changes. Tingnan nyo, now we're using loofah sponges. Now we're using bamboo toothbrushes. Now we're using eco bars, soap bars. So small steps, baby steps. We in the Zero family are like the army of BTS. We welcome you, di ba? Para mga BTS fans kami, di ba? We love you. If you want to join the movement, come. Open arms. We welcome you. Come, di ba? So, join us. Be part of Zero Waste. Let's do our part to save the planet. And no matter how small your sacrifice, kahit mug mo lang na dinadala mo every day to get your coffee at some coffee shop or whatever, small steps will lead to bigger steps. And I really thank you guys for spending this time sitting here today. Layo natin from each other. This is so different, but it's an honor. It's a privilege to be able to share our advocacy. And I really thank EMB. I thank Claire so much for the opportunity to be here today as well. Na I hope somehow meron kayong napulot. You don't have to remember everything, okay? My PowerPoint, I've already sent it to them. So if they want to share it, please do. And I hope you find something about it and just choose one because we cannot all do big steps all at once, but little steps. And may those little steps become bigger steps that we become a zero waste family that will grow in numbers. Thank you, everybody, and have a great day. Thank you po.
Thank you, Ma'am Beng. So, yun nga po, sabi ko, this is a way of storytelling our progress, no? It's a way of sharing kung gaano yung small steps na ginagawa natin because there is a way into going into zero waste lifestyle kahit konting steps siya. As Ma'am Beng shared, so pwede po natin siyang i-contact actually. She is very she is always there. Pwede natin siyang i-contact and she can be our mentor. So whoever is interested po to get her number, pwede po natin siyang i-friend sa Facebook. I think, Ma'am Beng, no? And then, of course, i-like natin yung Zero Waste Baguio. Marami talaga tayong matututunan. So, thank you, Ma'am Beng, for sharing your zero waste journey. Of course, nakaka-inspire talaga na kahit in small ways, meron at meron talaga tayong magagawa. So, for our next speaker, all the way from Davao City, yung ating next speaker. So, ang layo ng narating. Actually, yung mga speakers pala natin, to inform, nakita lang din namin sila sa Facebook kasi nga, of course, with the pandemic, yun yung isang nakita ko na positive effect ng pandemic, no? We went out, hindi physically, but we went out sa Facebook, sa social media, and then dun tayo nakahanap ng ating mga friends who are really nakaka-inspire yung kanilang story. So, yung ating next speaker, all the way from Davao City, mag-share din siya on her zero waste journey, on her advocacy, and what she had done din sa Davao City, which we could emulate here in Baguio City or in the Pool of Cordillera as one. So, I'm Ma'am Marge. Are you in? I think naka-in siya kanina. Hi, Ma'am Marge.
Yes, hi Claire.
Ay,
Can you hear me? Naririnig ba?
Yes, ma'am, naririnig ka po. And hello po, ma'am. Welcome po to Cordillera, Virtual Cordillera Administrative Region.
Maraming salamat. I'm happy to be here. So I'm trying to figure out itong Microsoft Team kasi this is my first time to use. So sige, I will share my screen.
We can see na po your screen, Ma'am Marge.
Okay, that's good. Okay. I'm Marge. I am from Davao, and thank you for having me here today. I'm honored to share our humble beginnings. Ako, for one, pag sinabing zero waste, parang na-intimidate talaga ako, Diyos ko. Parang ang laki ng expectations pag zero waste, no? And so, my team opted to use and promote reuse and repurpose para parang pakiramdam namin hindi masyadong mabigat i-carry, no? Kasi pag dito, parang pag sinabi mong zero waste, napakalaking obligasyon or parang yung impression is sobrang bigat. So we wanted a lighter, tawag nito, I wanted to use a lighter term, no? Na parang reuse, repurpose, parang kaya ko to, parang ganun. Pero kasi pag sinabi mong zero waste, malaki yung parang ang laki-laki ng expectations. So we're using reuse and repurpose that leads us to that is our road to going zero waste, no? So this road to zero waste has really changed my relationship with things that things that become waste, and even with the pandemic, the work we must do, the work we do must continue. Ako kasi, my work focuses more on community, no? I'm a digital marketer and community builder. So, most of the work that I do is with the community. I work closely with local creatives. So, um, that started bago pa lang. Siguro na, we started in 2019. I started working with local communities and local creatives and founded the BGS Creative Circle. I co-founded it with 4 other women. It's a community of creatives here in Davao who share the advocacy of promoting zero waste projects. No? And we work with schools, organizations, yung mga barangay through biggest garage sale community event, promoting reuse and repurpose in the effort to introduce zero waste practices at community level. And at the same time contribute to the development of a circular economy. So, okay. Earlier, Ma'am Beng shared how lonely it gets to do this alone, no? Kaya my team and I, we work with community. Okay. So, ito kami. We are a small group of creatives, and we're a mix of crafters, designers, and artists. I'm not sure if some of you knows Kabunyan De Gia. He is from Baguio, and he transferred here to live in Davao. So malapit yung bahay niya is within our community. And so he's part of our effort here. Nabanggit niya sa akin kahapon that he is friends with 2 of the speakers today. That is Faith and Gawani. So, yeah, we share one mission in this group of creatives. We share one mission, that is to awaken creativity in individuals. And what we hope for is that we're able to inspire a culture of creative reuse and repurpose, so we can live in a community that is conscious about the ways that we create, no, at household level. And I'm sure in the world we live in today, you would agree na parang ang hirap dahil lahat ng bilhin natin creates waste, no? So what do we do? What do we do about it? Okay, so and so we are introducing the creative solution. What we do, we work closely with communities, local businesses, and organizations. Nag-host kami ng community garage sale events, bringing together neighbors, schools, organizations, and local businesses in one space where we introduce reuse and repurpose towards a zero waste community. And we did that successfully in 2 communities here in Davao, kaya lang naabutan kami ng pandemic. And so, when we were just about to reach more communities, lahat ng events namin had to go on a full stop dahil sa lockdown and restrictions sa mga gatherings na. In the work that we do, we emphasize the value of creative skills and offer creative workshops like junk journal, scrap fabric jewelry making, and junk art. This is mostly introduced to us by Kabunyan, and more to inspire individuals to create so that they can pick up their waste and creatively reuse and repurpose. So in the photo, you'll see ito yung mga workshops na nagawa namin, and at the event, these are the things that you'll find, no? Nakakatuwa din sa events kasi merong nagbebenta ng mga tawag nito ng mga reuse or repurposed items, no, or upcycled items out of waste, yung mga earrings made of plastic, yung plastic bags, sando bags, made by one of the student designers dito sa isang university sa Davao. So parang part siya ng school project nila. tapos dinisplay nila during the event. And from there, nag-develop sila ng iba't ibang products like bags, ganon, made of yung waste materials. So nakakatuwa that we're able to create that space for individuals who are already into zero waste but had nowhere to go, or individuals who wanted to dispose of their unwanted things at home pero had little success or no success doing it by themselves. So when you bring the community together, pagkatapos may mga organizations din that inspire them and push them to do that, nakakatuwang ma-witness, no, that they are really participating and they are very enthusiastic into doing that. So what I realize is that it just really takes an initiative to get started. And kasi sa community namin parang nandun na yung will. It's just that hindi sila makamove forward to the next step because there's no initiative, there's no effort happening in the community. And so we're happy to be able to start that here. In some of the events that we also organized, we also offered free workshops, no, like what you see in the photo. They are very interested to learn how to repurpose, how to creatively repurpose things or upcycle things like old fabric, but they just don't know how to do it. So one of the things we introduced was yarn making, t-shirt yarn making out of old clothes. And we're happy to see how happy they are to learn a new skill. And that what we're hoping for is that pag-uwi nila, yung natutunan nila, ma-apply nila sa bahay, no, with their old clothes. Instead of donating it, instead of throwing it away, they can breathe new life to their unwanted things. So that's basically what we do at the local level. The community garage sale is one of the new things we introduced here in Davao. We wanted to awaken consciousness about our individual responsibility toward the waste that we create at home, no, and we wanted that to be present to strengthen that at community level. Kasi pag nag-iipon yung community, mas nagiging mas may impact kaysa yung kapag ginagawa mo lang mag-isa. I mean, we did that. We had, I'm sure some of you or most of us have done that at one point in our lives. Nag-garage sale tayo, and with the rise of social media, siguro nagpo-post tayo sa ating Facebook, no, na for sale yung mga old things natin. But there's very little to no success when we do it alone. So we thought of bringing the people together. And during events, we had live music to make it fun, but we also held free public lectures. We always tag along Kabunyan, and there is this urban container advocate who joined us in the second run of our garage sale. And we introduced yung junk art, yung urban container gardening, like composting, how do they do that now at home. And there were also other lectures that we offered, like for example, what do you do with your paper waste at home? So isa sa mga architects in our creative community introduced junk journal to also open opportunity for for generating revenue or income for livelihood. Instead of throwing waste away, create something that you can make money from at the same time. So we wanted to inspire them to reuse and repurpose. And so what we did was we partnered with barangays kasi wala kaming pondo. We are a group of creative volunteers at the beginning, and wala kaming pera, wala kaming, I mean, we cannot afford to pay for a space, we cannot afford to pay for yung mga kailangan ng isang events, no, to promote, ganon. So, we heavily relied on word of mouth and social media. So, we partnered with barangays and active local organizations who supported our mission. And we were surprised. We were surprised kasi ang daming sumuporta mga organizations and businesses who joined this mission, who joined us at the events, no. It was really surprising for us. Hindi namin in-expect, and at the same time, na mas na-inspire. We were inspired to keep going, to continue, to reach more communities after that first run. Okay. So one of the things that I learned in the work I do with the community, together with the creatives, is that we really need to inspire creative skills. No, one of the things that we were asked after the first event was that, what do we do with the unwanted things na hindi bumenta? So that was really a big question for us, and we called friends for consultation. What do we do about it? And so we formed the creative circle. It started with a small group of parang 4 or 6 lang kami, and now we grew to a community of 12 creatives who try. we try baby steps now to inspire others to reuse, to repurpose. One of us is an early childhood educator na very active on social media to inspire parents to use yung scrap materials like karton or yung mga patapon na mga papel or fabric or anything, to use them as a learning tool, no, educational tool in your homeschooling. So nakakatuwa kasi minsan yung stems ng alugbati, yun yung ginamit nila as a paintbrush, natural paintbrush. So instead of buying paintbrush, yung stems ng alugbati, they put it together, tinali nila, yun yung ginamit nila sa kanilang homeschool. So nakakatuwa yung mga ganon. And then there's this mom, one of our creatives, na very, anong tawag nito? Kikay. Very kikay. So gumagawa siya ng mga jewelries made of old fabric, or minsan yung mahilig siya sa maong kasi. And then meron din kaming kaibigan na nagtatahi or gumagawa ng mga items out of maong, tapos merong mga scrap. So yung mga scrap nilagay nila sa sako, tapos dinala sa school where my child goes, and then tinuruan niya yung mga nanay doon na gumawa ng mga earrings, ng mga kung ano, tapos binenta nila. Nakakatuwa kasi sold out. So I mean, we don't really need to when we learn the skill, we don't really need to buy things that we use every day. Like yan, yung mga pangkikay na kakahiligan natin. Or ngayon, marami nag-homeschooling. I mean, we can learn creative skills that we can apply, no? So that we don't always have to buy these things that we need, that we think we need to buy para magamit for learning or pampaganda or kung ano-ano pa. So yeah, that's part of the work that we do. Sorry. At garage sale events, where we also teach the skills, no? Okay, I know the individuals I met, no, a lot of them want to go zero waste, but they just don't have any idea what to do. Like clothes, for example. na-realize ko dito sa Davao, mahilig. Mahilig sila sa clothes. So, mga Davaoenyo, mga kikay, mahilig silang to dress up, no? Kaya sa mga events namin, Sus Mariosep, ang daming ang daming damit. Yun yung pinakamarami, no, mga damit. And then they ask us, saan namin to i-donate? I mean, what do we do with these unwanted clothes that we really want to, kahit libre na lang, hindi ko na ibebenta, libre na lang para mabawasan yung kalat sa bahay. But you know what? It's there's also a dark story behind donating clothes, no? I won't go into details about that. But yeah, isa yun sa mga issues that we discussed with the creatives, no? And so we tried and we are still trying to educate. What do you do about it? With me, with my homeschooler, what we do is we create we started learning and teaching skills, no, like crochet, knitting, weaving, so that yung mga old fabric we can old clothes we can reuse them and make them into something useful, like yung mga ganito. Although this one is yarn, no, but we can create our yarns, like t-shirt yarns, ganon. All we have to do is to learn the skill, so that we can pick up old clothes and make it into something new. So yun yung isa sa mga the challenges that we faced when we started introducing yung reuse movement and repurpose. There's a lot of unwanted things, yung mga plastic, totoo yung Coke bottles, no? Ang daming households with a lot of Coke, or ang daming trash bags with a lot of plastic Coke cans. And so we brought in yung green advocates, or yung gardening advocates naman, para maituro sa mga sa community that you can use plastic bottles to grow your own food. You can also use, if you learn the skill of sewing, you can sew together yung mga old packs. Kasi lalo na sa mga nanay, I'm sure nagpapagatas tayo, 'di ba? So ang daming foil packs, ang daming packaged goods that we buy for our kids. And so if you only learn the skill na magtahi, no, you can actually make a livelihood. There's this cooperative that he supports, and kino-collect nila yung mga zesto, yung mga foil packs ng milk, kung ano-ano pa, instead of tawag nito, cutting it up and nilalagay sa loob ng creating eco bricks. Instead of that, tinatahi nila to make planters, or ano tawag nito, pots. So dun nag-grow ng vegetables, ng food, no? So that's what they do. Inisip din kasi namin yung mga cut out na eco bricks, after some time, I mean, mahirap mo na kasi siyang buuin, 'di ba? Kasi cut out na siya. It still goes to the environment. So one of the things that they could think of that doesn't have to cut into small parts and still go back to the environment, yun, it takes a long time pa rin naman. Kumbaga na-lengthen yung lifespan nung packaging, because it's already in our environment. I mean, it's one thing to campaign for change in corporations, but our reality right now is that there's there's unwanted things that's already existing in our community, and it's a question of what do we do about it. So yun, tinatahi nila yung plastic packaging to make planters and grow food. Ayun. Totoo rin yung sinabi ni Ma'am Ben kanina na we are not a rich country. So, we really cannot expect advanced facilities to take care of our waste. And kailangan no, na each individual in our community will need to participate in this effort. So the things we have at home don't need to reach the trash can. And I hope it starts with the people in this room. I mean, one person can bring in one or two friends. That's a big step. If you can collaborate together to do something, maybe that will inspire more friends to join. So so we become one bigger community. Okay. We always ask ourselves, what do we do? We can always equip ourselves. We can always equip ourselves with knowledge and skills. That's what we do. With knowledge and skills to pick up our waste and do something about it. Instead of looking for eco-friendly products or yung current campaign on zero waste products, I mean, you can find the materials inside your home and create your zero waste products. You don't have to buy those zero waste products. You can mend your clothes. You can do it yourself. You can reuse. You can repurpose. And that extends the life of the material of the products that are produced by companies, by producers, so that they don't have to produce more. Okay. So this is what we hope for. But at the same time, it's also a challenge that a zero waste future is a community effort. And perhaps it's about time that we recognize the important role that creatives must play to create solutions. No? Uh, I think that has always been um, missed, or hindi natin nabibigyan ng pansin yung value ng creativity, or na masyadong or for a long time natulog yung ating creative spirit. And so I hope it's about time that we awaken that. Kasi dati naman na unang panahon, we work with our hands. Bago pa yung mga instant noodles, bago pa yung mga fast food, the quick lifestyle, the fast-paced urban life, no? Yung culture na sobrang busy ko. I don't have time for that. I hope we take a pause and look at our lives. Are you really busy? Do you really not have time? Yeah, we have 24 hours a day. We have 7 days a week. In those time, what are the things that you do that has real meaning in your life? So before this generation of pabilisan, before this lifestyle of quick and instant rush, nagtatahi tayo eh. Tinuturuan, we spend time with our children to mend our clothes. We don't throw away fabric. There was a time in Japan when I learned about this boro stitch, a technique in stitching, no? Because there was a time in Japan, sometime in the 18th century or 19th century, when there was a shortage of fabric, and so they don't throw away fabric. Any piece of fabric was so important that they stitch it together to make rugs, to make clothes. No, and I would like to think that it's a very important skill sewing, knitting, mending your clothes. I mean, that's basic. But we forgot about all this. We forgot the value of working with our hands. Because it's a quick call, order ako. So yeah, that's what we hope to bring back. I know it's going to be a slow progress, but I'm happy to see that there's a community trying to do that, teaching practical skills in school. No, Tuburan here in Davao, it's a Steiner Waldorf school. I know there's also Steiner Waldorf school in Baguio. Um, and they teach children these skills, and I'm happy to see that, and that's why I joined. I enrolled my kid there. I don't want to pressure her with all things tawag nito, intellectual. You have to reach to go up that ladder. You don't have to do that. I mean, you can just, some of us don't want to be alpha leaders. We just want to grow a garden, to knit, to sew, to write. So I mean, the culture of competition, we don't have to be part of that. um, we can be part of collaboration where we work together as one community. We don't need to kill each other to be successful. That's the economy right now, yeah. Um, I mean, with collaboration kasi you rise together. But sadly, what we see um in today's culture is that we try so hard to be the best. We try so hard to work on our figures, on our numbers in terms of whatever sales, academic achievements, and we forget the value of working with people. So so I hope we relearn that. We relearn that value. Kasi I think it's a lot. It's in us. It's in every individual. It's just that we need to awaken that. We need somebody to tell us, hey, you don't have to be competitive. You can collaborate. You can work with the community. You don't have to do that alone. And you can start with your friends. I mean, it doesn't have to be a high impact, 10 times growth agad-agad, no? No, I mean, you can reach out to one friend, two friends, do something together meaningful. And I'm sure it will be fun. That will inspire you to keep going and bring in more friends. That's what we hope for to do here in Davao. We surround ourselves with friends who share the lifestyle, who share the mission, who share that meaning. Yeah. So I hope we give that some thought. I know it's not going to be easy, but that's the adventure. I mean, when things get difficult, that's where the adventure is. Yeah. Okay. I won't take much of your time, but I wanted. I'd like to think that the most environment friendly product is the one you didn't buy. I wanted to leave you this for you for food for the thought. No. Uh, with that, I hope I have left you with something to think about that inspires action. And I won't make this talk very long. I just wanted to leave you this message that yeah, the most environment friendly product uh, you can own is the one you didn't buy. It's the one you created. So I hope you give some thought about awakening your creative spirits, learning some new skills in this time of pandemic and lockdown. Reach out to friends, and share something meaningful. And if you want some inspiration, if you want to connect with us, we are on Facebook. You can check out the page, facebook.com Biggest Garage Sale Davao. That's where we update our followers about garage sale events because we have taken it to to the virtual space. Hindi na kasi pwede yung physical events. So what we did was to bring our community events online. It's been difficult because we are not funded, but thanks to social media, we were able to do a test run of the first social event. Sorry, the first community garage sale online. We're able to test that here in Davao, where we brought together some 5 sellers from different locations and hosted their garage sale online. It was a 7-day event that was very meaningful because we gained friends and we are slowly growing our community on Facebook. You'll find us on Facebook. You'll find our community on Facebook where we share our projects on reuse and repurpose. You'll meet creatives there. Um, yung mga nabanggit ko kanina, the early childhood educator who uses scrap materials for homeschooling, you might find inspiration from her. She's in the group. There's also one of the moms who makes the jewelries that I shared kanina, and also she also mends clothes kasi or mahilig siya sa damit, so nagmi-mix and match siya. Minsan yung sako ng arena ginagawa niyang damit. So she cuts it up and shares that project in the community, and hopefully that brings some inspiration that will lead to action. You'll find us in facebook.com/groups/biggest garage sale Davao, or you can just search reuse repurpose Davao. So yeah, that ends my presentation here. I'm thankful to Miss Claire. Maraming salamat. And everyone here at EMB Cordillera, marami pong salamat sa pagkakataon na maibahagi ang aming kwento. At sana ito ay magbukas ng daan patungo sa makakalikasang pagbabago sa ating mga komunidad. Maraming pong salamat. Magandang umaga.
Thank you, Ma'am Marge. So it was really a very inspiring story. So ang saya, no, I was, ang ganda ng kwento mo, Marge. So we have here some in the comment section po. May mga, we do it in school. The problem is we have some comments here pala from Ma'am Mary Jane. So sabi niya dito, we do it in school. The problem is that we have no center and advanced training to come up with innovative recyclable materials. Pero I think yung isang factor pala na nakakalimutan is yung sabi mo, Ma'am Marge, a while ago na yung encourage or the partnership with creatives. Oo nga, most of the times, yung sa mga activities namin, we forgot na hindi lahat is alam ng organization. So therefore, we have these creatives that we could actually tap also. So thank you, Ma'am Marge, for that enlightenment. So meron din tayong messages from Ma'am Beng. Love your message, Miss Marge. Use our hands to meet. Great reminders po. Great to meet you too. So that's from Ma'am Beng. And from Ma'am Julie Ann. Thank you, Ma'am Marge, for a meaningful presentation. Keep it up. And then from Ma'am Darme Absede, manghingi po kami ng PowerPoint ng topic. Send lang po sa email. And from Ma'am Abby, thank you, Ma'am. Very inspiring story po. Pwede po makahingi ng presentation, ng copy ng presentation nyo. And then from Sir Dwight A. Dawdaw, thank you for the sharing. So for the presentations, ako na po yung sasagot. Yes po, hihingin po natin sa ating mga speakers yung kanilang presentations, and we will be emailing it to you after you fill out the evaluation form pagkatapos ng ating 4th speaker mamayang hapon. So, wala po tayong attendance sheet. Meron po tayong evaluation form kung saan i-input ninyo yung inyong email address for the copies of the presentation. So, yun nga, Ma'am Marge, thank you so much for the inspiring story. Actually, nung una pa lang po, gusto na sana namin gumawa ng the zero waste celebration every January was nabigay siya ng 2016. I know, 2019. So yung first ever na activity namin was yung first Zero Waste Awareness Fair. Where nagbenta kami ng eco-friendly, or we introduced to the market that there is zero waste products that we could use. And then yun nga, iniisip actually namin for the next, paano kaya mag-garage sale? And so I have these newer ideas. Thank you so much for the presentation. At least na-enlighten ako on how we could do it also here in our communities. So Ma'am Marge, marami pong salamat sa iyong presentation all the way from Davao City. I'm very glad po na you accepted our invitation kahit via Facebook lang namin kayo kinontak. We are really thankful. So, marami pong salamat, Ma'am Marge. Yun po. Thank you so much. So,
It has been an honor. Marami pong salamat.
Marge. So yun po, bago po natin i-end yung ating morning session, pwede po bang i-on muna natin lahat ng ating camera and magkakaroon po tayo ng photo ops together with our two speakers, Ma'am Beng Garcia and Ma'am Marge Bulahan. So paki-on po natin yung ating mga camera to those who are in the webinar. And mag-photo ops po muna tayo before we end this morning session. So yun po. Yan po. So yan, parami na ng parami. Hello guys. Okay. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay. More pa po. 1, 2, marami pa yung pumapasok. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay. So, ayan, parami ng parami. Nakikita niyo naman sa ating screen. Thank you so much for all the 100 plus participants. Yes po, yung mga walang camera, pasensya na. So maraming pong salamat. We'll be back at 1 p.m. 1 p.m. po yung pagbibalik natin for our next speaker. So yung ating next speaker will be in by 1 p.m. So pwede po tayong bumalik ng 12:30. Balik lang, same link po tayo. We will still be posting it. And then ita-text din po ulit namin kayo. Maraming pong salamat and see you at 1 p.m. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hi, ma'am.
Thank you, Miss Marge. Thank you, Claire.
Thank you po.
Ma'am Marge, maraming pong salamat. Maraming salamat po talaga. I am really hoping to meet you in person ulit, and then we will talk a lot. Feeling ko po, marami tututunan sa inyo. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you po. I would love that. Marami pong salamat.
Thank you. Bye-bye po. Marami pong salamat. Pasok po kayo mamaya, ma'am, if you want to listen for the next two speakers. We'd love to have you again.
Yes, I would love to listen to them. I know they are friends with Kabunyan, so I'm excited to keep them here as well.
Yes po. Ma'am Faye?
Yes.
Ma'am Faye? Ma'am, may comment po dito sa ating comment box. Sabi niya,
Ay, sige.
Madam, could you please comment on menstrual cups in the reduction of sanitary waste?
Yes. Actually, meron akong menstrual cup. I tried it, kaso it doesn't work for me. So I went back to, mas nag-work sa akin yung washable cloth pads. Pero for many, lalo na yung mga on the go, at yung hiyang sa menstrual cups, that's sa akin, siya, zero waste siya. Kasi, wala kang tinatapon, nire-rinse mo lang siya, and then you reuse it again, you just sanitize it. Okay siya for me. I have one, pero na hindi ako masanay sa kanya, eh. So, nagme-menstrual pads na lang ako. Okay 'yun, yung menstrual cups. 'Yun. May iba pang questions?
Wala na po, ma'am.
Ayun. So, actually malapit na akong matapos. Ay sana. Ah, I want to discuss yung smoking. Kasi I used to smoke. I used to smoke commercially available cigarettes. So that means sila yung may nilagyan na chemical to preserve the smoke. So I did that kasi I wanted to understand the smokers. Kasi naiinis ako sa mga smokers eh. Kasi ako, sige, ano ba yung nararamdaman nila? So nag-smoke ako. So after that, I understood the addiction to nicotine. Well, I kind of understood the addiction to nicotine. Tapos I also understood um, yung ano tawag dito, yung oral fixation. Anyway, yung oral fixation, kailangan may laging nasa bibig. It can be food, it can be cigarettes, and so on. But anyway, kung matatanda na tayo, and sana maging aware sana tayo dun sa mga pinapasok natin sa bibig natin at saka yung effect niya sa environment. I was able to stop kasi iba yung intention ko was to understand, hindi naman dahil ay peer pressure ganyan, hindi yon. So I was able to stop. Tas if I may request dun po sa mga nanonood na nagso-smoke, sana po pag-isipan natin kasi aside from yung cigarette butts, of course, that's waste, toxic waste. Yung hangin din po napo-pollute, hindi lang po hangin natin kasi yung hangin ay iisang hangin lang naman yung shine-share natin. Napo-pollute din natin yung hangin ng katabi natin. So, sa akin, if we try to our best to stop the habit, ang daming makikinabang. Unang-una tayo, hindi tayo magkakasakit. Sana hindi rin magkakasakit yung makakaamoy nung cigarette smoke natin. Tapos hindi pa tayo mag-a-add dun sa pollution ng air ng environment at hindi pa tayo magkakaroon ng solid waste from the cigarette butts. Ayun. So, thank you. Pasensya na po kayo. I'm very passionate about yung sa cigarette smoke kasi parang, kasi hindi siya solid waste na parang tabi mo lang, di mo na makikita, ganyan. Naaamoy siya eh. Tapos essential yung hangin sa paghinga. Malinis na hangin sa paghinga. Yun. Tapos yung lastly, dun sa 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 tips ko na hindi connected sa food. Wala po kaming sasakyan and it's by choice because wala kaming panggas. At saka wala kaming maintenance sa kotse. Kasi napansin, we opt to walk or use the public transportation, jeep, ganyan, or bus. Tapos napansin namin, when we walk, mas mas relaxing. Tapos mas marami kaming na-discover na mga lugar, na mga bagay by walking kasi ang bagal eh. Nakikita mo yung mga nakatago. So, yun. Tapos, I want to share with you something kung ano yung nasa loob ng bag ko on a regular basis. Claire, pwede bang pakita natin yung what's in my bag?
Ma'am,
Una-una.
saglit. Apo. Ma'am, saglit
Okay.
lang po kasi medyo may technical difficulty kami dito sa end
Okay.
namin.
Okay.
Balik lang po kami. Mga 2 minutes, ma'am.
Okay, no problem. Pero okay lang dumaldal.
Yes, ma'am. Sure po. Sure.
Ayan. Anyway, ewan ko, lalo na tayong mga babae. Siguro yung mga lalaki din meron na ngayon. Meron tayong kikay kit sa bag when we go out. Tinanggal ko na sa kikay kit ko yung wet towels. Yung binubunot mo lang na basa na siya, pang linis ang mukha, ganyan-ganyan. kasi nalaman ko na hindi pala siya biodegradable. So, it's the same as yung disposable nating mga napkins, diapers, and so on. So, I stopped using that. Kasi kung gusto natin ng malinis sa kamay, may alcohol naman, magdala po tayo ng panyo. Pwede ring basang panyo, tapos nakalagay sa plastic. So, pag madumi na siya, edi lilinisin lang natin siya. Ganun. Yun. Tapos, I also bring my own, just in case, utensils. Maliit lang. Kutsara, tinidor. Kasi ngayon, di ba, may mga ibang kainan, when we eat out, yung ibang kainan naka-plastic spoons and forks, and they will just throw them out. So, I have, yun, stainless na maliit na spoon and fork. Tapos po, paglalabas ako and I need, anong tawag dito? I need to bring water. Water bottle na glass po yung gamit ko instead of plastic. Yun. Mamaya po, papakita ko sa inyo yung nasa loob ng bag. Pag bumalik na po yung, pag pwede nang pakita natin mamaya. Ayun. I have 2 more points po before my talk ends. Pero may kasama po kasing photo. So, hintayin na lang po natin si Claire ng EMB.
Bag of transfer time. So, yung location mo doon na lang.
Wait na po
Ayan. So, ayun, nakikita nyo ba yan? Meron akong maliit na payong, wallet, tissue. Meron akong, yung kulay blue po, ano yan, menstrual pad na washable. Yung may smiling face, panty liner na washable. Tapos, may alcohol po ako, yung nasa kulay brown na spray bottle. Ball pens para hindi na po ako hahawak ng ball pen ng public ball pen. Tapos, kita niyo po yung maliit lang po yan na spoon and fork, Swiss knife, at saka yung dalawang puti na nasa kaliwa, dalawa pong eco bag yan. Pero nagtataka ako, mabigat pa rin yung bag ko. But anyway, yun po yung essential na kailangan nasa bag ko. Yung dalawang eco bag, tsaka yung mga yan. Yun. I just wanted to share that with you na lagi po may dalang eco bag tsaka yung pang-period pads para hindi na ako kailangan bumili ng disposable. Ayan. Thank you, Claire. Tapos, yung last po, kasi since I resigned from work noong 2012, full-time, hindi full-time, part-time ba rin. Nag-art na po kami. Ito pong artworks ko are still parang zero waste pa rin kasi I use materials that are already available. Kung makikita niyo po itong nasa left, naglabas po kasi ako ng series about psychological disorders or phobias, yung mga fear of something. So ito pong nasa kaliwa, I used 3 sirang relo ko na ayaw na talaga gumana kahit ipagawa, hindi na magagawa. I used them for this artwork. Yung pong title nito ay Hinahabol or Chronophobia, yung may fear of time or passing of time. So, yan po. Yang bilog na yan, napulot ko lang, yung lock, napulot ko lang, ayaw nang bumukas na wala na yung key. So I used that. Yung nasa kaliwa naman po, mga found wood. Ganyan na siya, hindi ko siya ginalaw. Inassemble ko lang siya together. Tas if kung mazo-zoom in nyo po yung nasa right side, may mga screws po dyan. Mga ano na po siya, kinalawang na ginamit ko, pininturahan ko lang. Ang title po niyan ay Megalomaniac. Yung parang si Trump. Ganun. Megalomaniac si Trump. Anyway, so what I'm saying here is, as much as possible, we don't buy any more art materials. Kung ano lang po yung nandyan. So part po na kahit po sa art na I try to live yung zero waste lifestyle. Ayun. Tapos this is my so yun. I heard from a speaker once for yung natural medicine. She mentioned yung beatitude from the Bible. Sabi niya, blessed are the poor. This is from the Bible. Sa akin, the word poor has been, bastardized or hindi na maganda yung meaning. Pero para sa amin, yung being poor means choosing in every moment to live simply. Blessed are the poor kasi the truly poor have no access to things that pollute the body and the environment. Wala silang access sa grocery or they have no money to buy from the grocery, diba? So wala silang junk na mailalagay sa katawan. They only magtatalbos na lang siguro sila and that's healthy. So blessed are the poor in that aspect. Kami po ni Gary, we have chosen to be unemployed, and with this lifestyle of unemployment, we conserve resources. We conserve water, food, electricity, money, and many other things. Sa akin po, nakikita ko marami tayong problema dahil disconnected tayo sa nature. So, para sa akin, para masosolusyonan yon, kailangan lang po natin mag-connect uli. Hindi naman connect na parang mag-out of town ka, hindi po ganun. If we want to learn how to live yung zero waste, we only need to observe nature. Yung, halimbawa, ngayon uso na po yung halaman or kung may garden kayo sa bahay, observe niya lang po a few minutes. Tingnan niyo po kung may langgam, tingnan niyo yung halaman. Basta, just observe and nandun na po lahat yung sagot eh. Yung the plants and animals in the wild, they do not pollute the environment. So, yung mga bahala na po isipin po natin kung bakit ganun. Yun na po yung sagot para sa ating mga tao kung paano tayo magbubuhay zero waste. Tapos, ang suggestion ko po, observing nature takes time. We really need to make time. We need to slow down, quiet down. Kasi when we are relaxed, we breathe more. When we breathe more, we think more clearly, nagiging clear po yung ating pag-iisip. Tapos yung sagot sa mga tanong natin, whether buhay zero waste, problema sa kung saan man, parang darating po kasi nasa atin na po lahat ng sagot. Din po. Marami pong salamat. Kung meron po kayong tanong, or comment, I'm open to comments. Yan.
Thank you, Ma'am Faith,
You're
sa
welcome.
iyong message, sa iyong story. Maraming salamat po. It's truly inspiring, no? How actually zero waste is the simplest way. Iyon na kasi yung normal na ginagawa natin. It's just that kailangan lang natin maging conscious. Yun yung takeaway ko actually sa message ni Ma'am Faith, no? To be more conscious. Kasi in reality, ginagawa natin yung zero waste. Like, yung lesson, yung plastic bag, which di ba, marami na sa mga kusina natin. Tapos at the end, tinatapon lang natin. So we know actually na nakakaipon tayo. So and we also know that we should stop. So it's yun, being more conscious. So yun po yung aking takeaway. And then ma'am, may comment po dito si Ma'am Sir Boban. Sabi niya po, thank you so much for the valuable comments on this. So as of the moment po ma'am, wala pa naman po sa comment sections. Wala rin pong naka-raise ng hand for questions. So, baka mamaya, ma'am, after ni Ma'am Gawani na mag-speak. So, Ma'am P.
Abangan
Yes,
niyo si Gawani. Marami akong natutunan sa kanya. Basta, yan, magaling yan mag-zero waste. As in, matagal na siyang nag-zero waste. Abangan niyo siya.
That's already a very good introduction para sa ating next speaker, no? So without further ado, hindi na natin ito patatagalin. Even our first speaker is excited to hear from Miss Gawani. So, Miss Gawani, may we give to you the floor. Nasaan ka po? Nandito ka na po, ma'am?
Ayan.
Nandito.
Hello.
Hi, ma'am. Ma'am, pa-on ng camera.
Naka-on po. Hello.
Naka-on. Oh. Ayun. Hi, ma'am. So, finally, nakita natin si ma'am. Spotlight. Okay. Hi, ma'am. So, we're giving to you the floor already and welcome sa ating webinar for this day. Maraming salamat po. And ma'am, the floor is yours po.
Hello. Nawala ata ako. Hello. Ayan. Okay. I-start ko lang yung aking share. Oops. Naririnig po ba ako? Ayan. Ako, hindi ko ma-figure out paano mag-share ng screen. Nasaan na yung aking view? Nakikita ba yung screen ko?
Ma'am, ako po yung nakikita. Ma'am, doon po tayo sa ma'am, sa may PowerPoint yung presentation natin.
Nakikita po yung screen ko? Paano ko i-view yung Hello.
Ma'am, isa pa pong share. Try po ulit, ma'am. Exit. Kasi yung mukha ko po, ma'am, yung naka-share. Ayun.
Nakita niyo po? Okay na yung share, but di ko makita yung screen. Sorry, first time.
Screen natin ang naka-share po. Yung... Yan, ma'am. Yan na po.
Ayan, ito na.
Yan, ma'am. Ay. Nalipat, ma'am. Nalipat ulit.
Ayan. Ito.
Yan, ma'am.
Ayun. Okay na?
Yes po, ma'am.
Ayun. Okay. Sorry, first time kong gamitin itong platform na to. So thank you. Thank you, EMB-CAR, for inviting me to this event. Ako si Gawani Gaungan, taga Sagada, Kankanay Igorot. I was born and raised in Bontoc. I studied in Manila and I settled here in Sagada. I run a cafe at the same time work in community development. Ngayon po, government employee po ako ngayon. I settled in the countryside kasi for many reasons, conscious decision po ito. Syempre, isa na yun, yung waking up with this view. So the screen you see now is the view from our house. So tinanong ko yung mama ko, sabi ko sa kanya, Ma, I'm going to make this talk on zero waste. Tapos sabi ko, ano pong sasabihin ko kayang important na i-include? Tapos sabi niya, zero waste is a family affair. Kaya yun, yung title ng presentation ko, Our Zero Waste Story. So this is our family. This is my dad, my mom, me, ako po yung panganay, yung brother ko, and my sister. We started Zero Waste in the 1990s when my mom heard about this and immediately warmed into it. Tapos parang na-apply niya kaagad sa bahay. So we were raised by a zero waste mom and dad. My mom is a community doctor. She's not, hindi siya sa hospital practice. She's more on preventive medicine. So nauugnay niya yung relationship ng health doon sa environment na magiging truly healthy talaga tayo kung healthy din yung environment natin. Isa ito sa strong pushing forces kung bakit nagpa-practice din kami ng zero waste management. Now, my dad, he was an Anglican priest when he was alive. Simple living yung kaniyang tinuturo sa amin. Ang sabi niya, parang ang malaya at tunay na mayaman ay can survive in the least resources possible. Yung konti lang talaga yung kailangan. Kung konti lang talaga yung kailangan mong mabuhay, malaya ka at tunay na mayaman, di ba? Yun yung turo niya. So parang dahil pari siya, malaki din yung concern on nurturing and enriching mas the spiritual life more than material like wealth or whatever. As grown-ups now, my siblings and I, we practice zero waste management. I have my own family now. My sister also has her own. My brother and my sister are both school teachers po dyan sa Baguio. And yes, they do practice zero waste also. So yung sa nanay ko, siguro segue yung kwento, maalala ko to nung bata ako. I was disposing waste from my bag doon sa public trash can. Tapos sabi niya sa akin, uy, wag mong gawin yan kasi alam mo naman where that will lead to. Iuwi mo na lang sa bahay. Ganun siya. O, diba? Tapos, syempre, sa segregation, simula bata po kami, totoo po yung sabi ni Ma'am Beng, yung first speaker po natin, 30 kinds of segregations po sa bahay para po mas ma-manage po natin ng husto yung ating waste. So, bali yun. And now, here is my family. This is my family now. My husband and my 2 kids. My firstborn is now 7 years old. And my second born is now 5 years old. Zero waste din kami sa bahay. Siyempre, ito yung, para po maging simple, ito po yung what we always bear in mind. If we buy or consume an item, where will it go after we're done with it? And where does our waste come from and where will it go? So, parang tuwing every time we buy something, parang kailangan po tanungin muna, essential po ba ito o hindi? Tapos saan ba ito mapupunta after? Para malaki po kasi talagang bahagi ng waste management yung pag-iwas ng basura. Kasi we don't want to end up with so much waste to manage in the end. So we bring parang yung mga iba ding speakers, we bring our bags to the market, we consume more from the earth and not from packs, yung mga ganun. Tapos simple living talaga lang in general. Maalala ko, may classmate ako sa Manila, parang sabi niya sa akin, uy, bilib ako sa'yo kasi parang okay lang sa'yo na kahit ilang taon mo nang ginagamit yung the same clothes. Parang, malinis naman siya and nalalabhan. Pero yung, I don't mind wearing old clothes. Parang hanggang kaya pang gamitin, di gamitin pa basta presentable at saka malinis. Parang gano'n. So, syempre, nung nagda-diaper pa yung mga anak namin, gumamit kami ng cloth diapers, cloth diapers. Naiintindihan ko yung mga ibang moms who choose disposable dahil dahil convenient siya at saka mas madali siyang gamitin. Sa amin, parang syempre, mas mahirap talagang mag-cloth diaper. Kailangan siyang yung time na maglaba, mag-ano. Pero parang yung kung makita natin yung wins naman niya, yung tipid sa pera at saka yung sa environment naman. Kasi syempre, zero waste na siya. Hindi naman problema kung saan i-dispose yung mga used plastic diapers. Ayun. Tapos ito, this is one plant from our backyard. Syempre, yung isang perks ng zero waste is we get to compost. So yung nakikita sa mga compost sa rich soil. Tapos, syempre, dahil alam namin na kami nagtanim, wala namang chemicals, safe siya na kainin. Ayan, ito yung pinicturan ko sa garden kasi dito ko din nilalagay, aside from the compost, dito ko din nilalagay yung coffee grounds ko from my morning coffee. At yan, sobrang natutuwa siya at bumunga ng madami. Malaki din talaga yung relationship ng zero waste sa abundance, yung feeling of abundance. Kasi bukod sa we feel abundant dahil simple lang talaga ang buhay, nafe-feel din natin yung abundance dahil yung wastes from the kitchen nagiging pataba ng lupa. So parang dumadami yung pagkain, ganyan. Tapos it's also better food options. We are also able to grow our own food from the wastes na with the help of the composts from our waste. Parang ganun. Ayun, so siguro mas for this talk, I wanted to share more about how we raise our kids now. Paano ba ini-nurture yung zero waste lifestyle sa kanila. Tapos parang nakita ko na halos ganito din kami pinalaki. So, yung unang-una, encouraging food choices from the earth. So, yung sabi po nila na we consume more from the earth than from packages or from packed factory-made goods. So, we get the strawberries from a local farmer who farms it organically. Yung kamote po dyan sa picture ay tanim po namin. Mahilig po yung mga anak ko sa boiled kamote. Tapos yung lemons from our garden. We don't buy the instant ready-made, yung powder juice. Kasi in the first place, it has too much sugar. Hindi natin alam kung anong mga nadagdag dyan. And yung ikalawa, yung basura na na-generate. So, hindi na nga siya healthy. Magkakaroon ka pa ng basura after. Consume more from the earth and less from less from factories and less from manufactured. Ganon. So, yan. Here are my kids. Yun, kumakain ng passion fruit from the kapipitas, fresh from the tapos squash. Tapos itong green na nakabalot na to, natuwa ako dito kasi these are mushrooms from the local market. Tapos binalot nila with grass. Kaya sobrang zero waste talaga siya. Ayun. Ayun, so fresh picks from the garden. We really encourage yun nga, yung ganitong relation, parang kumbaga ganitong mga activities with our kids so that they have a deeper relationship with the earth mas maging conscious sila na alagaan yung nature kasi nakikita nila na doon nang gagaling yung nourishment.
Ma'am, saglit
Doon.
lang po. Kasi may naka-share screen po na isang participant natin.
Okay ba?
Yes po. So, kaya actually po yung screen ng participant yung nakikita natin. Ma'am Rita, ma'am kayo po, kasi nakikita po namin kayong nagta-type. Ma'am, yung may X na box po, yan. Dito ma'am sa tabi ng mute and unmute, meron yung X na box. Pakiclick po yun. Yun po ma'am. Okay, Ma'am Rita. Thank you po. Ma'am Gawani, pa-reshare po ulit ng ating screen. Thank you po.
Hindi po. Okay. Naka-share na po ba?
Wala pa, ma'am.
Ay, wait lang. Share desktop. Ayun, naka-share na po ba?
Yes, ma'am. Yan po. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so where were we? So sa mga bata. Ayun, parang pagpitas nila nung a little fruit from our garden, sila na po nag-prepare para, yun yung mga activities din na ini-encourage namin sa kanila. Tapos syempre, spending time outdoors. Nandito na kami sa rural area, pero lumalabas pa rin po talaga kami para mag-overnight sa bundok, parang ganon. I know this is para sa syudad, like for my sister, instead of going to the malls, they go to parks with her kids. They go to farms. Meron na pong mga farms, Baguio La Trinidad area, where the children can be more engaged with nature. Kasi parang para sa amin po, talaga pong kailangan ma-deepen yung relationship natin with the earth para maging conscious tayo na we are part of it. Our nourishment comes from it. Whatever happens to the earth, we get affected by it. Parang ganun, hindi tayo hiwalay sa kalikasan. Wala rin kaming TV sa bahay. Parang si Faith lang. Ganun din kami pinalaki. Tingin ko kasi yung TV, malaking effect niya sa pag-dictate ng the things we should have, na parang tingin ko naman, hindi naman kailangan. Parang mas na-pressure tayo to have so many things or to have the latest this and that dahil sa nakikita natin na images. So dahil wala kaming TV sa bahay, we find alternative outdoor activities for our children so that yun nga ma-deepen yung relationship nila with the earth. So engaging with the earth, yun nga. Here are my sons also. That's kamote from our garden, and that's my second born picking tomatillo from a tree. And the other is a picture of my son na kumukuha ng sugar cane from the garden. Ayun. So talagang conscious effort po ito para sa aming mag-asawa na yun nga, maging engaged talaga yung mga bata. Ayan. So these are part of their tasks, like we involve them in watering the plants or in harvest, in digging up kamote, ganyan. Yeah. Tapos yung isa pa, yung pag-develop din ng curiosity of the natural world. So here's our second born. He's holding, I think he just learned how to safely and harmlessly hold a dragonfly para lang ma-appreciate and then syempre let go after 30 seconds. Conscious na pinapakilala namin talaga yung mga worms at saka mga insects sa garden, ganyan. Para maging aware din sila na hindi lang tao ang nakatira dito sa earth. I mean, we also share the earth with a lot of different species and they also need to survive. Parang ganon. Yun yung isa sa mga, madaming pictures yung mga anak namin na may kasamang insects at saka mga worms, mga ganyan. Para din ma-appreciate nila yung the whole ano ba, web of life, parang ganun. So, syempre, yung mga struggles namin as zero waste practitioners, naku, bakit not lang yun? Yung first sana is not perfect. Syempre, it's not perfect. Like, we haven't figured out yet where to put our electric wastes, ganyan. So, naipon lang talaga siya dyan until we find somewhere to put it to. And of course, until gumagana pa yung current na ginagamit namin, hindi talaga namin siya dinidispose. Number 2, of course, we did not start like this. Proseso din talaga siya na everyday parang we reflect what other things can we do better. The important thing, I guess, is to start and to keep on going and to find support, syempre. And number 3, the time to manage all the waste. Of course, it's also a struggle for us. And kaya nga mahalagang we avoid wastes in the first place para hindi tayo na-overwhelm o kaya na we don't have to deal with a lot in the end. And then yung waste management is built in doon sa daily routine natin para hindi natin naramdaman na mabigat. Ganon. Pero gawin pa rin natin. Syempre, I understand na madami tayong pinipiling options dahil convenient para sa atin. Sana kahit busy tayo, piliin po natin na gawin. Kasi kung hindi po natin ito gawin, darating po talaga yung panahon na hindi nakakayanin ng kalikasan yung ating basura. At saka hindi na magiging sustainable for everyone. So to end, I really like this quote from Chief Seattle. Sabi niya, man did not weave the web of life. We are merely a strand in it. Whatever we do to the web, we also do to ourselves. Thank you po sa lahat sa pakikinig. Wherever you are, I hope you are safe and healthy. Sana sa unting pagbabahagi na ito, magtutulungan tayo para makapagbigay ng mas magandang kinabukasan para sa ating mga anak. Yun lang po. Thank you very much.
Maraming salamat po, Ma'am Gawani. Thank you so much po sa pag-share ng inyong kwento and your life in the province. Hope po na you are safe and sound dyan. Really, no, zero waste lifestyle starts with our consciousness. I think it starts, yun yung takeaway ko for all the speakers. I think it starts when we become conscious. Because when we become conscious, nakikita natin, ay, anong effect nito sa environment? Oo nga, no? Anong gagawin? Ala, yung environment, kawawa, hindi na niya kaya. So, I think that's the bottom line of being zero waste is when we become conscious of what we do. Nakakabuti ba ito or nakakasama? So maraming salamat po sa ating mga speakers and sa ating mga participants. Maraming salamat po. We turned out 100 plus po yung ating participants since this morning until this afternoon. So, marami pong nakinig sa ating mga kwento and hopefully po na-inspire po kayo na ipagpatuloy natin ang zero waste lifestyle kasi kagaya ng sabi ni Ma'am Gawani, no, let us start and then we just keep on going. It's not as easy as it is, but what is that we are moving forward. So maraming salamat po. Muli, salamat sa pakikinig sa ating webinar at dito na rin po kami magpapaalam. Lagi nating tandaan, ako, ikaw, tayo ang kalikasan. So before we end po, picture po muna tayong lahat. Please turn on your cameras at mag-picture taking po tayo kasama ng ating dalawang speaker. And may magpo-question. Ma'am Faith. I think, Ma'am, wait lang po. Hindi ko po napansin agad. Meron pong may question po, Ma'am Faith daw.
Ay, hindi. Wala akong question. Gusto ko lang yung sinabi ni... Ay, naririnig ba ako? Ayun.
Yes, ma'am.
Gusto ko lang mag-comment dun sa sinabi ni Gao about yung us being part of the web of life. At saka yung them introducing their children to yung insects at saka yung mga animals dun sa garden. Naalala ko lang kasi si Gary, eto si Gary. Anyway, yung garden, sabi ni Gary, yung garden po namin is not for us, it's for the insects. So they are also part of
Mag-share
the
ka. Mag-share ka na lang ng ano, para maalis siya. Hindi na siya naririnig. Yung evaluation form daw po.
ayan. Anyway, yung insects, ayan, yung mga kasama dun sa garden is also part of nature. Kaya hindi sila dapat tanggalin dun. Yan. So thank you, Gao, for underlining that. Maraming salamat.
Isa pa
Hindi po
pong
sila peste.
Oh, may isa pa pong naka-raise hand, Sir Jeffrey. May sasabihin ka po. Ma'am Gao, pa-unshare screen naman po yung Xbox. Yun. So, Sir Jeffrey, or nakataas lang talaga? Mangangawit ka po, sir. Wala. I think napindot lang
Ma'am,
niya.
wala po.
There.
Napindot lang.
Napindot lang, sir. Okay po, sir. Ibaba na natin, sir. Mangangawit po tayo. Yun po. So, I think wala pong questions. So, mag-photo ops po tayo. And Ma'am Marge is here pa rin po. And I think Ma'am Beng, parang nakita ko po siya. So, meron po tayong comment dito sa chat box. Sabi niya, thank you. It's nice to hear all their stories. Nakaka-inspire po to start sa end namin. Yun po. So, maraming salamat din po sa pakikinig. Yung evaluation form po nasa chat na. So, mag-photo ops na po tayo. Smile po. 1, 2, smile. Next, yan po. Paki-on yung ating mga cameras. 1, 2, 3, smile. Kurang kayo? Okay. I-kuha na lang natin. Together mode. Ayun. So, seeing you all po. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, okay na po. Maraming salamat po. So, yung ating evaluation form is nasa chat box natin. So, muli, maraming salamat sa pakikinig. Hopefully, na-inspire po kayong lahat as we start our zero waste journey in our own ways. So, narinig naman natin yung mga kwento nila. I hope po marami talaga tayong natutunan. Muli, tayo, ang kalikasan. Ako, ikaw. Sa atin magsisimula ang makakalikasang pagbabago. Maraming salamat po. Bye-bye po.
Thank you po.
Hayak noon binugtang manat kaya sintangan